essentially about as small a workshop as you can possibly get. It's 6 feet by 8, which is 180 centimeters by 244, so pretty small. It's my garden shed. Been set up working in here for a year or so, and it's surprising what you can get done. But today we're going to be making a marking knife. Now, really simple tool, something that for some reason I don't have, despite the fact that I'm doing bits of joinery with hardwood, and I think I always just thought, oh, I'll just make one, so I never bought one. So let's make a marking knife. Because it's not something I'm selling to anyone, I'm just using this myself. I'm going to use things that I've already got lying around in the workshop and in my sort of wood store. So we've got a couple of different options for blade here. This is just a piece of steel bar that came out of an old filing cabinet, I think. Not particularly strong, but it's quite easy to work with, and actually because it's just a marking knife it doesn't have to be super strong, although got this as a secondary option, which is a former high-speed steel chisel blade from a turning chisel, really cheap one, but that's high-speed steel, so that's obviously treated to be much more resistant, that we can temper them, but we'll see about that. Old bit of something I started turning and it went all wrong, and I'm not going to use it for anything else. I think probably this is silver birch wood, which looks quite nice, and then a bit of brass pipe would be lovely to do the collar on it, but I've just got some copper plumbing pipe. Might again make quite a nice finish to it, I think. So there we go, basic, really simple materials, but they'll do the job perfectly. Oh, by the way, I'm using my binaural recording head at the moment because I don't have a decent mic on this camera. So if you happen to be using headphones, you can hear this in glorious stereo, and you'll get that feeling that I'm stood right here next to your head, whispering in your ear. It's a bit ASMR, but you know, whatever, might be fun. So let's see where we go from here. So far is a blank, which I'm going to be the first to admit is far from perfect, but obviously there's work to do on it yet. We've got to get the blade on it and do some finishing. We'll get it on the linishing wheel when we're done and see if we can get it up to a nice polish and a good blade. But that's a pretty good start. I think I definitely need one of these nice shiny belt sander affairs to make some of that work a bit easier, but that was perfectly manageable. Good bit of filing, which is a bit of exercise for your arms. But all in all, that's quite a nice looking little blade blank. So we'll work now on getting the actual blade bevel, and I think that's probably a case of filing again. Yeah. Okay, so now before we do any, real sharpening, we've got a good shape there. It's not exactly perfect, but it's, I'm happy with it. But before we actually get a blade on it, we need to harden the steel. So we're going to have a go at tempering it. Definite glow at the tip there now, definite glow. Now we need to do a slow temper on that, so I'm going to take it inside and stick it on the gas ring for, like maybe an hour on low heat. It should be about 400 or 500 degrees, something like that, for a long time, and then allow it to cool slowly. And we should have, oh, it's magnetized. This is now actually day 2. So this is our little marking knife blade, which I left on heat last night for an hour or two, get it to kind of temper as near properly as possible. It's not going to be perfect. I can't do it exactly right, but as I say, this isn't like a high impact blade or anything, so that's fine. I'm pretty proud of it actually. Not my thing, but it's looking right now. We're going to go on to something that's a bit more my familiar territory, which is making a handle, but we're going to have to hone and sharpen this and polish it off first. Basically, one satisfyingly professional looking blade, so I'm quite pleased with that. And now it's definitely handle time. It's quite a nice looking little handle. It's actually apple wood. I think it came from an old apple tree of ours, which, it's quite nice that it's sort of from our own wood. You get a very distinctive kind of sweet smell when you work apple wood like this, so that's definitely what it is. It's quite a delicate kind of width and things, but then with the marking knife, it's not so much a knife as a kind of pen. It's for marking things out, and I quite like that sort of elegance to it. So I'm quite pleased with that. Obviously it needs kind of finishing with some oil and things yet, but next we've got to put that collar on, and then obviously drill in a hole for our blade. There's a reason why plumbers use pipe cutters rather than hacksaws to cut the pipe, because I've avoided it because I thought it would score the pipe, but actually this has not made a better job for it and was a bit daft doing it. But unfortunately I can't find my pipe cutters anywhere, so I'm stuck with this. Never mind. Just hold everything in place. Cool. One shiny colour. I quite like the copper. It's you know, different. So at this point, we're actually basically putting literally a square peg into a round hole. I started off with a 4mm drill bit on there because I didn't want to go too big, didn't want it to be loose and have to use epoxy and things, which I might have to do anyway. But actually it was far too small, and I've gone up to 5.5 now, which is still pretty tight, but so it should be a good fit. So let's have a go at putting that in.